All right, so this one was crazy. The Bucks are waiving and stretching Dame's contract, which allows them to sign Myles Turner with a trade kicker, and they also got Gary Harris. This is a wild one, man. First and foremost, of course, best wishes to Dame. Hoping for a full recovery after the Achilles. We've already saw one report saying that Miami is interested in Dame because he's on the market now. The Dame era with the Bucks was something. Injuries definitely derailed playoff chances, but also they were not a complete team. They got worse on defense after losing Drew. Middleton and Brook got old. A bunch of things happened. Stretching his deal, they're paying 20-something million a year for the next 5 seasons for Dame's money. And having dead money on your cap sheet for that long that you can't get rid of is just going to make any team building anything more difficult. I mean, yeah, sometimes teams have bad contracts for guys that just aren't really doing anything for them, but very rarely do those contracts go out for 5 years. And also, you can get out of a bad contract. Once you stretch a guy, that's it. You cannot get out of it. But we assume Giannis doesn't want to go. They don't want to trade him. This was the last tool they had to make the team better right now. I mean, the alternative to this would have been you're just not good at all because you don't have a center. I'm not going to focus on this for the whole vid, but this is just a crazy, unheard of stretch of a contract. And anything you imagine the Bucks doing between going for a free agent, making a trade, whatever, you just got to have this in the back of your head the whole time. Now, if Giannis ever actually does ask out, I mean, it certainly doesn't help that you just have 20-something less million to work with, but I mean, they would just get a lot of picks, young guys, whatever. Anyway, let's talk about the basketball stuff. So Myles Turner, first off, that's a big loss for the Pacers because his spacing and his pick and pops with Halliburton, those open up the floor, and it's another thing you got to worry about, and it's more ground you have to cover and close out, which just allows the Pacers to just be their drive and kick machine, right? I know the last time we saw him, he could not make a shot versus OKC, but he was still very valuable for them. And he's also grown with his off-the-dribble stuff as well. And how could I forget, loved in Indiana. As the team changed however many times around him, you knew what you were going to get from him at center every night. Pacer fans are a bit upset he went to the Bucks. Sports fandom, is there anything like it? And also, Hallie opened up Myles Turner's scoring game from everywhere, not just from the three-point line. So for the Pacers, it's going to feel a bit weird with them now. I mean, Turner, not there. Halliburton, obviously, out this next season. And of course, Turner can space the floor out for Giannis. And defensively, yeah, Turner's best days are behind him on defense. Even so, once the Pacers were healthy, they were just a good defense. Yeah, a lot of that's Nesmith, Nembhard, Siakam, but Turner's part of that. Still at 2 blocks a game. He's not competing for an all-defense team anymore, but between him and Giannis as a help defender, that can be the foundation of a good defense. Now, they're going to need more perimeter defenders to be a really good defense, but, I mean, he was still at, 2 blocks a game this past season. Once the Pacers were healthy with Nembhard and Nesmith, their defense was way better. Turner was part of that. He is the type of 5 that you want next to Giannis. We just saw this with Brook for years, right? Now the, 107 for 4 years, trade kicker, player option, whatever. It's an average of 26 million a season, which puts him in line with Tobias, Kuzma, John Collins, Nick Claxton. Kuzma and Tobias are definitely overpays. Collins was pretty underrated this year, honestly. Claxton was not as good this season. And I saw that Pirtle just signed basically the same deal with the Raptors, so all right, here's your going rate for good starting centers. The trade kicker is a bit wild. However, if you want to view it as the Dame cap hit plus Myles Turner's money, well then yeah, it's an insane amount of money for Myles Turner. But again, if Giannis is not going to get dealt, there wasn't really much left to do. They give it a couple of years, more distant draft picks could open up, and then at some point they could get probably one more big swing deal to try to put another star next to Giannis. Or just get good players, period. I know there was the Chris Haynes tweet about how Giannis feels about this. I am not freaking out about that at all. Now, they will have still some draft picks here. I mean, they are going to have the less favorable of this pick that the Pelicans gave to the Hawks for the next draft. And, I mean, they're just going to have to find some diamonds in the rough, man. I mean, Ryan Rollins has been a success story. Andre Jackson, he's an athlete. AJ Green is well-liked by Bucks fans. Yeah, let's try to figure out how good is this Bucks team right now with Myles Turner to space the floor for Giannis and protect the basket, and for Gary Harris to be a 3-and-D guy. Now, his shooting was not as good this past season for the Magic, but, I mean, 2 years ago, when he shot well from the field, they were 35-19 with him. He certainly helped, right? This past season, he played half the year, percentages were lower, but 2 years ago, anyway. If he could still be that, and be just a perimeter defender for him, okay, you'll take that. This team is pretty desperate for another creator around Giannis. I know that Kevin Porter Jr. did have a run towards the end of the season with Dame out. You got Trent for shooting. Bobby Portis will get buckets off the bench. He'll be sometimes frustrating with his overall game, but he will score off the bench. AJ Green will make shots. It feels like a team of fine role players, but there isn't the real second guy next to Giannis. Now, they did just have the second guy, and the team still wasn't good enough. Again, best wishes to Dame. So I am aware that they won a lot of games late in the season with Giannis handling more and Dame was out and that whole thing. I know. I mean, the Celtics and Pacers are worse for this upcoming season. The Hawks and the Magic are better. I mean, they can definitely make the playoffs in the East. And once you get Giannis in a playoff series, who knows what happens. But the path to building another championship team around Giannis, it's going to be really tough, man. Especially with this Dame cap hit. But if Giannis doesn't want to go and they don't want to trade him, then okay, here we go.